Hi, so this is not a very usual video for me because you can see I'm in my kitchen rather than on a bench with some technology. Very excited this morning because we've got the new iClick from Pretorian that I'm going to show you some new features of and go through how to find devices and things that you can connect up to this so that the people that are using the devices can then have some independence in some activities. So to start with, one of the most common questions we used to get with the old PowerLink 4, which is no longer available in Australia, is how do I find equipment that's going to work with it and then provide the functionality using other switches to then control it. And the simple trick really is that these are power interrupters. So what they are doing is flicking the power switch on and off at the wall, and that's about it. Although they're doing it inside the box, it's really what they're doing is turning the power on and off. So for a device such as a blender, you're looking for things that have got mechanical switches and you want them to do the same function when you turn them on at the wall after you've turned it off. So in this case, if we get this blender set up so that it's running on a low speed and then I flick it off at the wall, it's turned off. What we need to do for these power interrupters to work is have devices that do that, continue that function when we flick the power switch back on. So you can see with this blender, if I turn the power on and off at the wall, the setting still stays the same and it keeps going on with the activity that you're doing. The same applies when you're plugging other devices into power interrupters, such as like a radio. They need to use the same function if you flick the wall switch back on and then back on again. Otherwise, they're going to go back into a mode where you might need to use a remote, and that's not something that these devices can handle. So having a look at the iClick, because we're really excited about this because it's just got so many different ways that you can control it, what we need to do is take the blender's socket out of the wall and then connect it up into the iClick. So now that that's in there, we've got some different settings and things, and we can do functions such as direct, whereas when you press and hold the switch and then let go, it only does that function as long as you're holding the switch down. With the iClick, that function there I was doing with one of the wireless Simply Work switches. You can also do it with a connected switch plugged in through the switch jack. And there's also an iPad app that you can pair up. And if you flick into the iPad mode on the iClick, you'll see that you have that same function going across using the screen as the button. So we have modes that you can choose for using with your switches, such as latched. And when you have latched on, one switch turns the device on and the next switch press turns the device off. We've also got these timed functions where you can choose that the device will stay on for a number of seconds or minutes after you press the switch. And one of the other features of the iClick is that you might like to use the on-off button mode, which means that you have one switch that turns the device on and another switch that turns it off. And we can see that here. If I press the red switch, the blender will turn back on. And then when I press the blue switch, it's turning off. So we're very, very excited to have this product now being on our website and hope that you're going to enjoy it too.